Popular figure as they head to the boxes for the next year at the Meadows.
Thank you, Patch. Colbrett, he's a character, isn't he, Nath?
He is, yes. And Gary Stunnon's got a fair fan base, almost as big as Jason Adams there. But no, he's a wonderful family dog, and they love him to death.
Look, I've gone for Fred Rose, number 2 here. Forget he went around in his heat, no luck at all, drawn to posse up in the box seat tonight. So I put Fred Rose, number 2, on top, but not for you.
No, I thought I could find a bit of value here with number 5, Paul Ucolter. I thought it was a bit of an eye-catcher in the heat of this. It was the first time up over 600, and he drew box 8, and he was slow away, but once he found the fence, I thought he really closed off strong late. He finished 3rd in the heat. He wasn't beaten too far after finding a little bit of mid-race interference. Double-figure quote, disco around the $10, I think, on an each-way basis. Paul Ucolter can run you a bold race here. Number 1, his special in for second. Greyhound was the quickest heat winner of this series, 34 and 62. Paid $8 there, and we tipped him last Saturday night when he saluted, so he'll run another good race off the favourable box 1 draw. Fred Rose in for 3rd. I thought he was okay here last week. He's looking to get back to 500. We heard in the pre-race comments from the Chignals there, but he's a greyhound who's been racing in free-for-all company throughout his career, and he looks well graded in a 600-metre Grade 5 final. For 4th, I've put in number 8, Dishevelled. This greyhound hasn't drawn anywhere near the fence its last 10 starts. He knows how to handle a wide draw, and he's racing consistently without winning. 5, 1, 2 and 8, my numbers. The Meadows race number 8.
Thank you, Nathan. This 5th grade, we're only a minute away. There's the explicit QR code tab special. There's $6 you're getting. It's only $3.50 to take out the Phoenix. You can have a $10 maximum bet if you're a tab customer. Just by scanning that QR code, you'll get $6 about explicit to win the Phoenix from box number 8. So 5, 1, 2 and 8. Sky 1 are with us here at the Meadows for race number 8. I've gone 2, 1, 7, 8. Fred Rose, I love him. There he is, Fred Rose. I've got to put him on top. His special for second, led all the way in his heat in 34 and 62. Purple patch of form. Fled the scene, number 7. Very strong heat win, running 34 and 64 from box 4. Has good form from wide draws. And like Nathan, I'm putting Dishevelled, number 8, in for 4th. Runner-up at both starts is track and distance. And the greyhounds are behind the boxes at the 600-metre mark. Just before we go to Dan Hibbard, Fred Rose, $2.80 to $3 tab fixed. Number 1, his special, $5, $5.50 back to $5. Dishevelled, the 8. $7.50 to $5.50. So the pink has firmed 2 points. The 7's drifted a point and a half. Number 3, Set the Sizzle, is $4.80 out to $7.50. And Paul Ucolter, number 5, Nathan's tip, $8 to $9.50, now 10. Here's Dan for race 8 at the Meadows.
It was 34.64 in the heat. He's won 13 to 46, 3 of 9 over this trip. Moving in, race number 8, the last leg of the quaddie. Good luck if you're still going. Good luck to the contestants in the big draw as well. The favourite is Fred. Set to run. Racing, Fred Rose only fair to begin, speeding the centre from Gary Stunnon, trying to come across was Poor Imperial, but Gary Stunnon found the front. Poor Imperial second, then came his special. Next in the field was Poor Ucolter, Fred Rose the rail, next was Set to Sizzle, well back fled the scene, last of all was Dishevelled. Gary the leader, leads out a neck on Poor Imperial, is storming home, also making ground was Poor Ucolter, next was Fred Rose to the outside and his special, Gary Stunnon kicking, Fred Rose to the outside, storming. Gary Stunnon, Fred Rose. Fred Rose will do it. Fred Rose over the top one, beat Poor Ucolter and Gary Stunnon. What a race that was. His special between runners. Then Poor Imperial from Set to Sizzle fled the scene. Last of all was Dishevelled. Fred's done it. 34 and 70. Oh, he's a marvel, this.
Right, Sharon Chignall, at what point did you think he can win it?
None. The line. Thanks, mate. The line. So, that's Fred.
That's Fred. You never quite know where he's going to be in running, but one thing is for sure, he's always going to hit the line well. How special for you to win a race on a big night like this?
It's very special to win a race with Fred on a night like this. So, we're just so proud of him.
Tell us about his personality.
Oh, he's a bad, naughty boy.
Why?
He's very noisy and demanding. He's getting a bit old and he hasn't changed anyway. He's 4 years old on New Year's Eve next week, so we'll just see how he keeps going.
So what you're saying, he acts a lot like your husband, Jeff?
He's worse.
Well, he's been great again. Where to next, you know?
No, I don't know yet, so.
Well, he's a popular dog. He's one of the best looking dogs in Australia, and he's an absolute class act from a racing point of view as well. Good job.
Thanks, Jace.
Showing signal there after Fred Rose wins here on Phoenix Night.
Well, how did he win that? He was sort of buried back on the rails, and then when they turned out of the straight in the first occasion, he got one off, but he was still a long way back. Made his run along with your one, the 5, Nathan.
Yeah, it was a tightly contested race, wasn't it, Dave? There wasn't much between them from box rise to finish. They all crossed the line together. And Fred Rose, he's just a model of consistency. He's been around the track 106 times now for 29 wins, 19 seconds, another 21 thirds. As we touched on pre-race, he's been racing in free-for-alls over the 500. He's a class act, and he was able to just stalk the speed, get some clear air, and then come over the top late. Paul Ucolta gave us a run for our money at double figure odds. He got into a nice spot and he looked the winner approaching the corner, but couldn't hold off Fred Rose in the run to the line. Gary Stunnon, the people's champ, you could say. He had the fan club here tonight, and geez, he led up off the wide draw and gave plenty of cheek, and he was only collared late. And then in for fourth, number 1, He's Special, who's racing in a real rich vein of form. And you know, that there was 2 heats of that series last week, Dave, and I think they went 34.62 and 34.64, the 2 heats, and the finals gone 34 and 69, and they were all very even in the heats, and it produced a very even final. So I think class prevailed in the end. Fred Rose went around $2.10 in the heat of this series last Saturday night, and a little bit longer odds tonight, and he had to do it tough, but he was too good, the wise old veteran.
2-5-6-1, race number 8 at the Meadows. Now the next race, the 9th, will be the Phoenix Challenger match race. The 2 greyhounds which were reserves for the Phoenix itself, Tim Zoo in the 1 and Field Day in the 3, both from the Jason Thompson kennel.
Yeah, and 2 wonderfully fast dogs in really good form. And yeah, as you mentioned, they were the reserves for the Phoenix, so they've put on this special race now as a match race for them. And I think it's wonderful to see. As a spectacle and a greyhound purist, these match races are unbelievable. We've got 2 fast, high-quality greyhounds going head-to-head. And I know Tim Zoo's going to start favourite, but I think that's purely based on the box draw. I think box 1 for Tim Zoo gives him the opportunity to hold the dog on his outside Field Day. And they're both going to be really suited by the match race series and formula, because Tim Zoo, we know how fast he is. But he most probably lacks a fraction of tactical speed against the good Group 1 dogs. And then you've got Field Day, who lacks nothing, but what he is, he's a 39, nearly 40 kilo greyhound. So in a full field of 8, he takes a couple of strides to get going. And with high quality racing, they can chop you off and get in your way. And when you're that big, you're not as nimble to get on your feet and go. But 2 out, these 2 are just going to match motors, and we're going to be in for a mouth-watering contest.
I really cannot wait for that. Fred Rose posing with Sharon and all the team there. There's a close-up of Fred, looking pretty pleased with himself after winning the 8th race here. So as we mentioned, the Phoenix Challenger, the match race, just the 2 dogs going at it in race number 9, and then race 10 will be the $1.65 million Group 1, the Phoenix, with $1 million to the winner. Really, really looking forward to it. Fabulous crowd here at the Meadows. But we've got to go back to Sydney, to Wentworth Park, the Collison.